The only reason I thought I really didn't know this was going on tonight, but when I heard about it, I thought about something that happened to me at work when I was a junior in high school. And the only reason that it's interesting, maybe it's not very interesting at all, but it happened right down the street here in the A&P building, which I don't know if there's anybody from Westchester that remembers the A&P across from Mitch's gym. They're building a new building there right now. And I was a Delaware County boy. I'm familiar with Westchester now that I've lived here so long. But back then, when I was 17, I had no idea even that Westchester existed. I mean, we came west to go to the safety picnic when we were in 8th grade, and that at Lenape Park, and that was it. So, as a usual 17-year-old, I had a need for a part-time job to make some money. So a friend of mine's father was the manager of that A&P. So at night after school, I would come out and work from like 4 to 9, and it was great, because they paid like a buck over minimum wage. So I was there one night late, and I was working the produce area, and a very large man came in, and he was a man of color. When I say large, he was probably 6'8", 265. He was big, and he was obviously a working man, and he was a little bit intimidating. I'm not a small man myself, but then I was probably 6'2", 160 pounds, So he asked me for a half a head of lettuce. I said, "I'm sorry, sir. We only sell lettuce in whole heads." And he said, "No." He said, "I need a half a head of lettuce." So I think a head of lettuce was probably a buck back then. So I said, "Well, why don't you buy a whole head and cut it in half?" He had just gotten off work, and he was not happy with that smart ass reply. So I said, "Sir, I'm sorry, we only sell it one way here." I said, "If you need to, really, just buy a whole one." And, he said, "Look, you don't understand my wife." She gave me a list, and he showed me the list. There's 3 or 4 items, and one is a half a head of lettuce. So I say, it just doesn't work that way. I didn't know what else to tell him. But even now he gets angry. And I get scared because I figure he's going to kick my ass. So I said, "Just wait here." And I ran over to the assistant manager who was on duty. And I said, "Frank," I said, "there's some asshole over in produce who wants to buy a half a head of lettuce." And I could tell by the look on his face right away that the guy was right behind me. So I thought about peeing my pants, but I just turned around and I said, "But it's okay, because this fine gentleman would like to buy the other half."